Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and everything and amazing Propagandacast with your host, Imperial Dane, the one and only Master Propaganda. We're off here to our 1v1 on Twin Beaches. And boy, do I have some news as well there, since I basically had a big buff build up of replays before the first hotfix and another one hit, but we also got the roadmap, so there's a lot to talk about here. But in the north, we got here Theodosios fighting for America, freedom, and democracy here, setting out with the 91st Invasion. You also got Best of the Kitty Cat there, wanting to cuddle. So, that's a bit of a challenge in the south. We got Reakly fighting for the German army, taking on the role here of the 16th Panzer to be shown here with breakthrough, meaning MP40 Grenadiers here will be his tool of choice here. Good old reliable.
Grenadiers assembled.
So yeah, we got Basil there trying to climb onto me. He's blocking the microphone. I'm just going to grab him. Go. He's a good kitty, but sometimes, you know, ow. So, anyways, we're off here. We got Grenadiers, Pioneers. We got a Weasel out here for Theodosios. Of course, he's going for special operations. That's definitely a bit outside the usual metagame of the US Armored. Two Grenadiers here for Reakly. We got Riflemen. We got Weasels. We got for Theodosios. As always, a big hearty thanks to my Patreon supporters for the continued and general support allowing all these videos. And a big thanks to the people who keep liking and commenting on videos. Helps out immensely. And finally, a big thanks to Enemy and to Iron Fist for donating and supporting the Propagandacast with their hard-earned money. Also helps immensely here, in particular since I had to just already replace a mouse, and now I had to replace my chair, so these donations certainly have to deal with these small expenditures as well. And of course, we got the roadmap up. Finally, of course, I think 4 video days after this, or before this got recorded, but that's another story. But oh yeah, we finally have the roadmap. Some slight interesting elements there. We're gonna get the new 1v1 map in December. There's Repromote with Castle Hut. There's the expansion, which will be free for all those who bought the premium edition. So if you bought premium, that expansion in December is free. We're also getting Pekino Stalemate Overhauled. That's in October. Plus, there's going to be some cosmetics there. Hopefully, some of those cool ones that I actually found in the files. They actually look really good for the Wehrmacht. Like, good lord, I really want those. And some other sort of, shall we say, just improvements on a new 4v4 map as well there. So, a lot of stuff going on there. The other, I think, notable element of the roadmap, we got some first engagement here in the south by the fuel point there. Another engagement in the centre. Up north here, though, looks to be a bit of dancing around between Reakly and Theodosios, is the fact that the way they sort of change things up. Basically, it's going to be, I think, early October and early December rather than late October and December. So it seems like they're switching up when they release the patches in a month. It's like early. So while September will look empty, it's going to, I think, at most mean like probably a week's difference as they just switch from late September to early October. But anyways, pushing up hard here. I think I can't really keep talking more stuff now as the findings heating up here. Messages up. The Grenadiers merging with the Pioneers. I'm a bit unsure as to the reason here. The Pioneers are already bleeding out at such a rate here. They're getting focused down. I mean, obviously, do a bit more damage up close to the Grenadiers, but I feel like at this point, the engagement isn't quite going this way anyways. In the center Grenadiers arrived squad, here we got the MD42 for Reakly, so 3 Grenadier MD42 built here for Reakly. Also, my apologies, the mouse is operating a bit weirdly. I'm currently operating with a replacement mouse, cheaper one from Logitech until a more proper mouse arrives with the mail. It was supposed to arrive at the day of recording, but, well, you know how mail is. Grenadiers being pushed back. Engineers, rough molding up. So we got Engineers while here for Theodosios to help repair his Weasel. Grenadiers was the Weasel there. MP40's Car-90 case was the 30 cal mount on the back of the Weasel, which was initially a vehicle sort of meant for special operations units, but would eventually find its way into like more regular army units as they, well, really liked it. In particular, more swampy and sort of, you know, terrain with just, you couldn't really get a wheeled vehicle out. The Weasel was proved to be very, very useful, in particular as an ambulance. Center there, we got Theodosios moving up here, noting he's trying to avoid and make sort of inefficient engagement here versus Reakly on the fuel hill. Very smart with Theodosios. At the same time, the Reakly has also been quite smart here. Flying around through the south here, keeping Theodosios' eyes up here on the fuel hill, while again sneaking onto the fuel points in the beaches, securing all the resources there. Thumbs up to Reakly. Very smart play there. Very sensible. No officers' quarters though. I'm a bit surprised that, considering he's going for like a fairly heavy tier 1 with MP40 Grenadiers. Typically, in my experience, of course, they benefit a lot from the infantry officers' quarters, but of course, just because they do benefit doesn't mean you always have to go for, and of course, Reakly might have other plans here. So, it's an interesting deviation of the build here, and that's also one of the things I do like about Companies 3, is just, you know, even there's like, you know, a decided, you know, build, you can always like find variations on. There's always room to experiment and find like, you know, ways it works better for you. So cool stuff there. Over to Theodosios here. With his weasel, he's also gone for the smoke screen here. We got Theodosios trying to roll Reakly away there from the center. Grenadiers pushing forward, saying here from the captain there, up for Theodosios. Captain Joe Bobberts. Called Bobberts because apparently the recruiter misspelled his last name and, well, he couldn't be bothered to get it fixed. Grenadiers pushing, well, backwards here as they get surrounded by the American troops under Theodosios' stoic command here. Pioneers here with a bit of art lines from the sandbags from the Americans. Of course, lay down more scratch wire off that part there before they come under fire. Got Theodosios pushing forwards here, making progress on the beach as well. His weasel grabbing points. Also worth noting, he's gone for the signal layer, which basically turns into the, well, cat and crowd in that sense. It's not one we see so much there, but I think there's, for more, shall we say, the weasel-oriented players, there's more to swing towards signal layer now, as people are realizing they don't actually need the healing as much. And again, having a weasel just, you know, basically acting as a cat and crowd with the gun is like, you know, it turns out fairly good. We've got bars up there as well for Theodosios. Note he's only got 2 rival squads here at the moment. Might have lost one, or perhaps it's part of a bigger plan. We got 30 cals there for Theodosios. Thumbs up. Up north here, the Reakly and the German arms making fairly good progress here. Maschinengewehr and Grenadiere. Panzergrenadier company ready here for Reakly, and we got the Panzergrenadiers. We got more MP4 as well for Reakly. You could, of course, also consider transfer out here. And certainly, I think, like, personally, if I was going to go for, like, you know, this kind of build, but not go for the infantry quarters, I'd probably be more likely to try and personally transfer out some Grenadiers for more Panzergrenadiers. But again, that's just me, and it's not a way to say, you know, Reakly's wrong for what he's doing. It's just, you know, quick bit of commentary here from me on that side. Up north, engineer scouts, Weasel pushing against Grenadiers here. I'm not entirely sure this is a great use of Theodosios' manpower. He's got like 3 units versus 1 here in heavy cover. Like, Reakly could theoretically exploit this and push back Theodosios across the map elsewhere, so this definitely is not, I think, a particularly advisable engagement. We've got rather than being pushed northwards with the BARs. No sign yet, anything further. We've got a lot of manpower float. Considering he's going for spec ops here, I'm definitely getting the suspicion here that Theodosios is probably trying to hold out here for the SSF commandos. I could be wrong here, but that's sort of the impression I get here. Also got the meter surplus upgrade up. Thumbs up, push forward here. Captain knocked out here. Good kill there for Reakly. Bomb grenade in the engineers to scout. Oh, rifleman there falls not in the open. Oh, it's scouts. Could even get a wipe. That'd be a double whammy there on Theodosios from Reakly. Can he get it? No. At least Theodosios like they held out very early. Panzer Grenadiers not so much. Grenadiers the rifle squad here. Bars versus MP40s. The Maschinenpistole in 40. There's the Browning automatic. M1918. Maybe even the A1 model. As apparently some of the riflemen or infantry in the Second World War will still be equipped with bars pretty much unmodified from World War I, though they would have later models that were further modified. Amongst other things, I believe removing the slow fire button, which the BAR had, because that was sort of one of the design elements of the bar back in World War I. It was meant to be sort of a light machine gun you could fire while walking, you know, across no man's land. So it had this slow auto fire feature, which they dropped. But again, you would believe it had some troops in the Second World War still equipped with that one particularly there. So we got troops setting up here for Reakly, reinforcing, healing, preparing for the next big push. We got a panzer that can only clearly concern that Theodosios might try and sneak up something cheeky against him. Like a Greyhound, and certainly a Greyhound in the right place can be very devastating. Graham Northern Fuel Point here. Theodosios sitting back on Reakly. 91st is steadily advancing in there. We've got the 1st SSF command squad out there. We also got a more notable manpower drop here. So, yeah, we got upgrades as well here. In fact, he's coming to both the fort logistics and the survival training. So, Theodosios is really trying to that US economic advantage in some respects here. Which also means his men are going to be fairly tanky after that. Both of those upgrades, plus, of course, chips in 4C. 30 cal opening up the advantage troops as Reakly tries to make a drive up the center. In the northeast, skirmishing over the fuel point here. Reakly, of course, could benefit from more to deal with the machine gun under Theodosios' command, and Theodosios is now the one to swing up on the beaches. Thumbs up to Theodosios there. Good play, good play. Neo there with a flying alpha. Those wondering where Basil is currently, he's basically draped across my shoulders.
Losing a fuel point. Engineers on the hook.
Sleeping. It's one of his, you know, favorite sleeping positions. So yeah, commandos now, 120 health per individual squad member. Riflemen, 660. Again, they really, like, you know, get fairly durable. And if those SSF commandos get to Veteran 3, they're going to get even more health. So they're going to become, like, theoretically very tanky. If you can call them there. And we got a second SSF commander squad out here, so he's really looking to leverage them here against Reakly. In a way, we typically don't see the SSF commanders, like, leveraged. Which is always interesting to see here. We got the third coming forward, machine gun that catch on the 30 cal here is the MD42 Southern Fuel Point Seized, and this is a bit of a problem here for Reakly on two fronts. Let's probably to Reakly's perspective, because not only is now just one fuel point, but again, Theodosios now has 3 fuel points, meaning that is a hell of a difference in terms of fuel income between Reakly and Theodosios. Up north here, Grenadiers pop a grenade assault here, but the commanders just dodge it, and Reakly is forced to withdraw here from the northern beaches. The position is being overwhelmed by the SSF Commandos, which stands for Special Service Force, if I remember correctly. Was a joint American-Canadian commando force. Of course, not the only American commando force, of course, was the Rangers, which were actually trained by the British commandos, at least based off them. North here, Grenadiers is standing off against the commandos here. MD42, they're being slowed around. Here's Reakly, Theodosios Marine here. Reakly very wisely withdraws the machine gun here. No command points being expended here. I'm definitely thinking that Reakly is probably pushing for the Tiger. At the same time, we got the Panzer Company up here. Could see some Starstorm, but I suspect we're more like looking at the Panzer IV here from Reakly, and the 16th Panzer Division take on here Theodosios and his many commandos with their Johnson light machine guns. So named after the inventor Melvin Johnson, who would also invent the Johnson rifle, which was actually one of the main competitors, the M1 Garands, except apparently by the time they saw, like, you know, put forwards, they kind of went with the Garands as, like, just a bit too late to the party. So, fun fact there about the Mr. Johnson there. Mr. Melvin Johnson. Truly a remarkable man. Grenadiers representatives of commandos. Got the Johnson light machine flanking the advancing Grenadier. Pushing forward with the MP40s, or possibly MP38s. Which was basically just a harder to produce MP40 as a fun fact. MD42 is the commandos here. Grenadiers being... Ooh, grenade assault off the commandos. Nice for the steel hand grenade. In the center, their push forwards is thwarted here by Theodosios' men. Well dug in. And Reakly also swing up through the beaches in the south. We got a 30 cal here supported by the scouts. Thumbs up to Theodosios. A lot of back and forth engagement. A lot of shifting, like, front lines here between Reakly and Theodosios. We got the White Phosphorus grenade off the Willie Pete, as it was colloquially known. Of course, I'm going to say White Phosphorus a lot in the heat of battle is probably just too tough. South side, they got Panzer push back. And there you go, we got the Panther 4 there for Reakly. Panzerkampfwagen 4 there being sent from the 16th Panzer Division's 16th Panzer Regiment, 2nd Panzer Company. Fact, Panzer being pushed back into the rifle squad. Fighting off there, Reakly from the southern field. Good play there by Theodosios. Both players, of course, he experienced, and they know how to outmaneuver the other one. Rifle squad, it was the Grenadiers machine gun moving up here for Reakly. Got poured on them. Does he have sprint? No, he's actually used it already, so he can't sprint in there. And he's a sniper. Did he cancel the Panther 4 for a sniper? No, he didn't. But he's going for sniper now? And it's an interesting choice there by Reakly. Perhaps a part of experimentation, perhaps there's something deeper to it. Personally, I would recommend Starstrom, but then anyone who knows me knows I'm going to recommend Starstrom like 90% of the time, so that obviously doesn't mean too much. Machine gun up here with the Grenadiers in the north. Vertical there doing good work for Theodosios. Machine gun holding up here. But now with the Panther 4 there, Reakly definitely has a bit more leverage here versus Theodosios, who's got, well, basically the SSF commander with bazookas. They does have the tank depot up here. Panther 4 flanking here, the rifle squad here by the fuel hill. Great shot there, slamming down poor Bob and Robert. Almost getting wiped here. This could get pretty painful there for Theodosios. Yeah, down to one man. Reakly needs to be incredibly unlucky not to get the wipe. And there you go, he scored the wipe. Big blow there to Theodosios. Full wipe. That's really going to help Reakly here versus Theodosios and the Americans. It's going to make it harder for Theodosios to exert map control. Certainly would have been great also sending a Starstorm squad into that. But again, That's just me. German sniper out here with his Scope Gewehr 43, which I believe was definitely not a preferred weapon of German snipers. They prefer Scope Coh3 or Scope Mercenary Gun, or even I think a Scope Lee Enfield. Basically just bolt action rifles tend to be better than semi-automatics for snipers. Also in the case of the G43, the scope for that one in particular I believe was not very good. Over to Theodosios. Only just 3 infantry squads here, though again 2 of them are SSF commanders, 1 of them now veterans 1, and again they do have quite a bit of health. They've got a Hellcat out here, Theodosios, to support his commandos. Imagine also trying to apply more pressure to the Panther 4. Quite effective at dealing with the tanks, but significantly less so for infantry. So of course Reakly could try and counter that with packs. He could also try and go for Jaegers with Panzer Shreks. He could also just go for a lot of Panther 4s. Even try Martyrs, I suppose. I mean, there's a lot of options here that Reakly could try and like pursue in his quest to counter the M18 Hellcats. We'll of course have to see what Reakly does here. Going for the 30 cal there on the lighthouse. Nice over there, of course, by Theodosios. He's actually got the second 30 cal out, but he's actually been quite busy with that weasel there.
We're losing our capture point.
Thumbs up to Theodosios, thumbs up, and we can see there again fuel points there being secured by the weasel. Give him a bit of extra fuel. It's basically like just, you know, a weasel. Sniper there going out again with the Scope Gewehr 43, engaging here the machine gun crew here. Wild Squad pushing forward to the Panzergrenadiere. Mortar firing down here. How long can they hold here, and how many hits can the sniper get in? One thing to worth noting, because he's actually got multiple weapons covering the sniper, he's definitely concerned that, you know, Theodosios could try and dive at the sniper and wipe it, which is a definite risk here. Panzers being overwhelmed by firepower by the fuel hill. In the south here, we got the Grenadiers versus Commandos. Close veterans 1 here. 379 versus 382. Got the Panther 4 setting out, adding the Pinlight machine gun gewehr. Panzers there low in health. Shots fired. We got the engineers flank up. There go the MD42 hidden behind the boxes. Pushes away the engineers. They've got the Hellcat wing 40 for Theodosios. And gonna spot that Panther 4 and get off a great shot there with 7.6 from the gun. Misses though, and those ranges, that is some great luck there for Reakly's Panzerkampfwagen. My god, Otto, I can't believe it. Guys, those Americans, he really can't hit the broadside of a barn from the inside, can they? Almost got the Hellcat here with the Panther 4. That's going to be huge for Reakly if he can take out here Theodosios' Hellcat. Huge. Panther 4 misses now. Oh, that is some rotten luck for Reakly. But there you go. Luck can only take Theodosios a fight, and his Hellcat goes down here. The Pack Panther 4 combo absolutely wreaking havoc on his Hellcat. Sending it on a one-way express right there to hell. Need to pull back Panther 4 out there. Needs to support against the commandos with the bazookas. Now the Hellcat out here for Theodosios. Reakly's Panther 4 could actually be in trouble now. He could try and dive in. He got another rifle down. This is huge for Reakly. And also inversely huge for Theodosios. He's only just the commandos now. And some machine gun teams. The South Grenadiers grabbing this on the fuel point. We got there Theodosios, the hot in the heels here of Reakly's Panzer 4. He wants vengeance, but Reakly's ready for this. He's brought up 2 Panzer out there, Kanone. Their Hellcats moving into a kill zone. Will be ready. No, it gets right past there. Got fire there. He glides right through here. The Panther 4's going to go down here. He was expected to go down the main road, but Theodosios took, well, not the main road. We got their increased rate of fire here to try and get us match damage. Good shooting there from the Panther 4, but again, the packs won't be able to destroy it. The Hellcat misses again. And there we go, now the Panther 4 rides and Theodosios died. Ah, went sour. He lost another Hellcat. And apparently Basil, at the sound of cats exploding, decides he doesn't want to sleep on my shoulders anymore. Apparently he thought that was too spicy. But yeah, that was some mix of bad luck and, you know, risky decision making there by Theodosios. Really got lucky with that Panzer 4. To some degree, though. Yikes. So yeah, that's 2 Hellcats down and no Panzer 4s down. That is fairly big there for Reakly. On top of that, Theodosios influences. So Theodosios suddenly is in a very uncomfortable position now versus Reakly. Like, he's lost 2 Hellcats, he's lost all of his riflemen. Of course, he does have the SSF commandos, and they are quite good, but That's still fairly expensive. It also means, like, you know, previous fuel advantage that Theodosios might have had or Reakly have also kind of just vanished in there. So what is he going to do? Like, one option would actually be to go for more SSF commandos. Honestly, like, bring in more lead infantry versus Reakly and the 16th Panzer Division. That could be an option. That could very well be an option. Is Reakly sniper alive? He is! And he's at veterans who want to. Panther moving forwards here. Catching here Theodosios' mortar crew in a bad spot here over to Reakly.
We have the advantage. Push in.
Vertical push back here. So yeah, now Reakly's just got the upper hand. We've got a supply drop here for Theodosios. That means an anti-tank gun, and I believe some other support coming with this machine gun and the mortar.
The ability is ready.
It is a machine gun. Meanwhile, Reakly's slowly pushing forward with his Panther 4s. Could of course consider some officers' quarters or I don't know, side skirts. But I think officers' quarters for the Panther 4s is a really good like upgrade. Just, you know, veterans one, but also just faster experience gains can really help the Panther 4 in a longer match. Panther is holding up here. You could, of course, also consider some Starstorm to further apply pressure on with little infantry and support weapons that Theodosios does have left. We got another Hellcat here, though, for Theodosios. Of course, at the same time, it's also not impossible at this stage that Reakly may just try and hold out for the Tiger tank. Sniper there gets another shot in there. Panzer with their pin down the carve point, but does manage to deprive Theodosios of their vital resources. Commanders moving forward to the bazookas, engaging the Panther 4. Shot slamming through the frontal armor there, likely on the turret. More commanders moving forwards here. Panther 4 further withdrawing. We've got the second Panther moving up here. Both now veterans to one here, one close to veteran two. Got the anti-tank support here, definitely running a much steeper base of firepower here for Theodosios' men against Reakly's panzers. Holding up in the field here. Further up north here, Granny's being pinned down by the 30 cal. We got the commands pushed back, anti-tank and falling back. Grab the point here. In the south, Granny is holding out. Panther 4 there, number 3 could happen, but again, so could also try to look for Tiger tank. That said, considering all current circumstances, going for the third Panther 4 might actually make more sense. Or even like a Storm Panzer, just go for the command tank. I mean, there's so many parts here Reakly could take, and honestly, even going for the Tiger tank might be viable in some respects, but we'll have to see. But certainly, I think just applying more pressure now would make it harder here for Theodosios to like get more Hellcats out fast. We got another one up for Theodosios. I mean, they are fairly, you know, affordable, and of course fast, which was like the main advantage of the Hellcat in the actual war. It was fast, but not heavily armored. It was basically meant to rely on range and speed. It was still meant to like work with some armored, motorized reconnaissance units to basically scout out targets for the Hellcat. Fun fact. In the center, the 30 cal sitting up, southern point also being covered with the 30 cal, but Reakly's applying pressure here on Theodosios across the entire front line here. 16th Panzer Division keeping up the attacks here. Clanny's on the fire. Anti-tanks commands moving up here as well. Panther 4 withdrawing a bit here. 30 cal there catching the Panzer Grenadiers here. Another Panther moving forwards. Grenadiers here's the 30 cal there as well. But yeah, at this point, I think it's strong looking here like Reakly is going for the Tiger. Meanwhile, commanders here being hammered with grenades, machine gun fire, Panther 4 fire, and they're finally forced to withdraw here. Also got the machine gun pushed back in the center. We got the American mortar Theodosios applying as much pressure to the Germans as Theodosios could possibly humanly imagine. Scouts pushing off the Grenadiers. Southern point mixed east, but there as well. We got Theodosios mortar running with some large support here versus Reakly. Could he consider whiz-bang? I mean, that is an option. We got another Hellcat out here. Quickly able to replace his losses. At least in terms of Hellcats. Picks up the Panzerkampfwagen. That is actually also worth noting. Reakly's only got one Pioneer squad to repair all of his panzers. That could arguably be seen as a bit of a potential Achilles heel here for Reakly, as that means like some of his Panther 4s might be out of a fight for like some time here. And I do think Reakly should strongly consider like a additional Pioneer squad soon here. At the same time, he's also now so close to the Tiger tank. I don't blame him for like, you know, wanting that Tiger up faster. Commander's busy at work there. Engaging the Grenadiers here. Panther 4 solid up in the center. Up north, we've got the point being seized. Engineers being forced out of the BAR, only met by the MG42. Bit of mortar fire there from the M1 mortar under Theodosios' command. Southern points being seized.
Deploy! I want the gun here!
I want the gun here! You want it here? No, here! What?
Down to 200 points.
Ah, just Never mind. Going to forward back up the Panther. We've got the anti-tank ready as well here, though. Commandos spearing the effort here once more. Theodosios. Panther forward, the tanks, some nasty hits. We've got the rush forwards here. Reakly going in for the fun. And Grenadiers spreading after the third calorie. Theodosios forced to withdraw here. Panther force slowly inching forwards. No sign of training, but at the same time, Reakly is so close to the Tiger tank. In fact, at this point, Reakly is kind of suffering from success. He's got too many units and so can't easily fit in the Tiger. Meanwhile, Hellcat moving west was there. Imagine that conversation. Yeah, we're sorry, but you're doing too well. We can't, like, you know, possibly imagine sending your Tiger to win even harder. Why would we want to reward success? Wait, scratch that.
Look sharp, fellas. We're up.
Fixing up the Panther 4. Could go for the Weasel, but oh, whiz bang. He's already gone for the Weasel. The Weasel bang. A Weasel with a massive set of rocket pods. Anyways, command wing forwards here. Command wing forwards, Hellcats going in. It's at the Pack 40s. Panther taking hits from the Hellcats, and the 761 guns. The command's also advancing at their low in health though. Good shot from the Pack 40s, almost taking out the Hellcat here. Commanders popping white faster than the Pack crew up north. Grenadiers, Panther Grenadiers, and the Weasel. Theodosios Weasels gets racked by Reakly. He just ruins it, leaving Theodosios without a Weasel. Meanwhile, Reakly's apparently finding himself enough loss. In fact, he says it's about immediately destroying the Pack 40 to deny it to Theodosios, because obviously can't recruit. Now he's gone for the Tiger tank. The Tiger sent in from the final 4th Schwerer Panzerabteilung, the only heavy tank detachment to actually fight in Italy. Fun fact. Machining gewehr sitting up there on the hill. Tiger tank moving forward, sniper keeps at it. I mean, that sniper's done pretty well for Reakly. Got the Hellcat moving forward into the Panther force. Several hits going off here. Another great shot there from the Hellcat, pushing back the Panther force. But now we got the Tiger tank out here under the command of Lieutenant Werner Beck. In the south, the Grenadiers pursuing the scouts, almost taken out there. Adding the Penalty machining gewehr, thumbs up. Got the SSF commanders now, Batchney 2 there, truly hardened men of menace and determination. Meanwhile, Tiger tank pushing forward here. Pretty risky there by Reakly exiting the Tiger tank without any support. Might just be me there. Go the Banshee shoving the anti-tank in there. Unsurprisingly, 100mm of fortified Krupp-Steel. Face hardened even, which was something the Germans actually did specifically to counter Soviet anti-tank ammunition, which was sort of soft core as it was known. And so by face hardening the ammunition, they sort of had a chance to sort of cause it to shadow upon impact. As a fun side note, though, it would turn out the Western Allies apparently used the same kind of ammunition, at least the Americans did, so they would also have issues at times with their ammunition shattering upon impact with German armor. So, little fun fact there, little fun fact. The machine they're pinned down by the 30 cal there. Might see another Hellcat here, though, from Theodosios in response to the Tiger. I mean, that would make a lot of sense. Of course, it's also got a marked vehicle, which of course make them even more effective as the Tiger. So of course, that adds a bit of risk here to Reakly. And of course, with the pack down to one pack as well, it's going to be tricky for like mustering enough firepower to deal with the Hellcats fast enough. One option to consider Reakly would actually lay down mines and start trying to bait it into it. Norfolk Grenadiers being suppressed here, moving forward to machine gewehr as well this season at southern points. It does mean his Tigers and Panthers a bit up to this point. There you go. We do got triple commanders here from Theodosios. He's gone triple commandos. Bazooka rockets just slamming into the Tiger's armor, leaving penetration hits, but also like some scorch marks that some failed to hit through. Panther 4 gets knocked out, then the flurry anti-tank fire there. Huge losses. Commanders are taking lots of damage as well. They're being pushed back by the Tiger and the Panther 4. Another slam from the Tiger tank, leaving countless commandos expired by the roadside. Definitely a bit roughy for Theodosios and Reakly. This could be one of those pivotal moments where the entire match could be decided in the blink of an eye if they aren't careful. Tiger tank moving forwards. Theodosios forced to ban the hill. His force is too battered to sustain another brutal head-on battle here with Reakly and the 16th Panzer Division, 3rd Panzer Grenadier Company.
A fuel point is being seized by the enemy.
Back here, reinforcing healing. Tiger advancing. Panther 4 there, closing in eventually 3 slowly. Again, officers' quarters might have helped it a bit faster there. Dunnies and the beaches being hammered here. Yeah, those Johnsons being reloaded, I guess.
The enemy have
30 cal there was the Grenadiers, they're pushing them back. Still, Reakly's now got control of most of the map. He's also got a good victory point leader with Theodosios. So it's quite the force to like triple commanders backed up by Hellcats machine guns. Definitely not usual USF metagame here for sure. Not your usual stuff, but I think that's kind of what I like about kind of these a good part as well. There's just so many like, you know, non-meta builds, and the right hand's I think quite viable. So we got another Pack 40 for Reakly, obviously in response here to the sheer number of Hellcats being unleashed against him. I do think he's got mines going down there finally. Very good there. I think definitely against the Hellcats, the kind of attacks that Theodosios is employing, Reakly will need mines, and let's pop over to Reakly. What's he up to? Who's not, I think, a bit too close to the front line. I feel like it's a bit risky. Like, it makes it easy for, like, you know, Theodosios to spot them, but also fire at max range. Like, if he's defending with them, they definitely should be a bit further behind to make it a bit harder for just Theodosios to aim up and shoot them at max range. Got an incendiary strike going in here. Catch the machine gun, the commanders in a bit of an incendiary barrage here. Tiger tank with the advancing commanders. They caught on the hill here. They're trying to push up the hill here, but they're kind of crossing the common head losses. And there we go. We got the late fuse barrage. And the commandos are absolutely spread across the hill there like the seeds. Some very, very grim guard now. Up north, the Hellcats pushing forward. Grenadiers to the other commandos. Hellcats moving in there. Theodosios on the move here. He senses a weakness, a gap here in Reakly. Despite the loss of the commandos, he smells victory on the air. That or diesel. Hellcats pushing forwards. Mark targeting the Tiger. And there you go. This is the moment he waited for. Reakly pushes forward. So we got smoke being deployed, but the Tiger tank gets within the smoke. And the smoke deployed covers up the Pack 40 with that Mark target triple Hellcats. Reakly's Tiger got wrecked by Theodosios. A brutal push here. The lack of support for the Tiger, the lack of the Grenadiers with their Pantherfires also proved to be pivotal. Because the Grenadiers were busy elsewhere. Exactly the kind of moment there that Theodosios was waiting for. Had those Grenadiers been there with Pantherfires, I think this kind of dive by Theodosios would have been much more difficult. Which is why you always, you know, at least want one Grenadier squad as the Wehrmacht. But also, you typically always want to keep them close to your tanks up to a certain point just to provide that, you know, additional Pantherfires. Pack 14 getting the Hellcat here. Modifying the machine gun gewehr. Another Pantherfire for Reakly. Grenades off the commandos. But this was a big moment here for Theodosios. Like, he'd been behind so far. And with one pivotal moment there, he's really just gotten into the driver's seat of this match. So we'll have to see, of course, what happens next. Reakly, I mean, still has a lot of advantages. He still has a good amount of infantry. He still has a sniper. He's got, you know, a bunch of other stuff. Oh, the Pioneers got wiped, though. That's going to hurt in the south here. Pantherfire pushing off the scouts. Theodosios really starting to leverage out whatever advantage he can, including the commanders here. Machine gun caught in a bad spot. Downhill from the commandos, but they still get suppressed. Bobby there had his nose poked out too far. Bomb grenade, though, takes out the 30 cal. Reakly dives in. Could grab it, turn against Theodosios here. Grab the northern point here. Commanders there. We got Mortifer, got airburst shells, taking out Reakly's machine gun in return. Grenadiers moving forwards here for Reakly. Packs moving forwards. Oh dear, what's next here? No tanks? No whiz-bangs? What will Theodosios do next? Could he actually be allowing Reakly to win this, like allowing opportunity to slip through his hands? It's hard to say here. We got 3 and 15, 14 versus 119. Up north, commands moving forwards. Anti-tank guns at the ready. Pantherfire also at the ready. We got the commanders moving in. They're going to catch the Grenadiers and a bit of a deadly crossfire here. They got loads of Johnson light machines. They're about to hit Destiny 3. And there we go, they hit it. And now they got like 135 health, which is, by the way, the baseline for Starstorm. Except, like, you know, this is like 6-man with it. Also, actually feel a lot of the bonuses. Panther pushing forward to him. They ripped apart, though. He's trying to take out the anti-tank. We got the Panther in there. Engaging the commandos, but he might have forgotten about the Hellcats. They could dive after the Panther 4. Engineers driving along in there on the Hellcat for a ride. I keep forgetting you actually have troops riding along your Hellcat, by the way. Possibly not intentional, and yeah, they dropped off now, but still kind of neat to see. Pack setting up. The Hellcat's going to run to the packs. We've also got the commandos here. Grenadiers are finally nearby to close to support the tank, but it may not be enough as the commanders are just slicing for everything now here. Anti-tank cleared out here. Pantherfire in trouble. Theodosios diving in deep here versus Reakly. And the Pantherfire's down. Anti-tank guns are gone. Sniper there. Coming under fire from the Hellcats. They can't hit him. And we got a whiz-bang. And there you go. GG. Game over. Quite the match here between Reakly and Theodosios. Some great moments. A lot of back and forth here. In the end, I mean, there's obviously a lot of things that Reakly could have done, but I think some of his issues were sort of slightly tactically that slightly, I think, benefited Theodosios right towards the end here. But overall, really well played by both sides. This was definitely an interesting choice. I wasn't expecting him to do so well for Reakly, but it actually did. But Theodosios definitely, I think, also really showed, the commanders, I think, from the strong side. He's a well played by Theodosios. So, hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment, tell your friends, tell your family, but not your enemies. And of course, as always, you can consider supporting the Propagandacast by donating our pledge on Patreon. Links in the description. If you wish to send in a replay of your own, you can do so via propagandacaster@gmail.com. Thank you all for joining in, and see you all tomorrow for another episode. Bye, everyone.